Yeah, so I'm very happy to be with you guys, and this is my first feedback stream. The rules are the same. You need to post your music for feedback in the Discord channel called, what is it? I don't see it. Feedback request, I guess. Yeah, feedback request. If I type entry, of course I mistype it. Oh, it dropped me one track from Boris 2020 called Resurrection. Cool, awesome, awesome. Okay, so I try to do the followings. When I listen to the track, I try to record it in Ableton. And that is cool because later I will be able to, you know, make some adjustments or select some parts a lot easier than just, you know, using the stream from Soundcloud. So hopefully this will work out well. And until I listen to your song, I will have to mute my microphone and hopefully it won't make any problem. So if I click this button, you are now hearing me if I'm correct. Is it correct? Also, I like to see your chat, your comments in the chat, because this is a common thing. Hey, Dan, please write entry. Yeah, I just did, and got then wrong chat feedback tracks, not feedback request. Feedback tracks. That is. Oh, sorry, feedback tracks. Okay, I was in feedback requests. Okay, let's do it one more time. Entry. Awesome. So it is from Delphine, called Scramble of Deception. All right, let's hear it. Yeah, nice thing. I really enjoyed it, but you overcrunched your master in the drop. So I think you need to be careful with the differences in the intro and in the drop, especially with the dynamics, because the intro is, I would say, a little empty. I mean, it's a great intro. I mean, on itself, it would be great if we take it with a different drop, because the drop is way heavily over distorted and overcrunched, and the color between the intro and the drop is very different. So you have an airy intro. Let's see if we can you hear me guys well? I hope so. So the intro, if we can, yeah, we can play it back. So the intro has lots of dynamics that you lost in the drop, and I mean, it is not a problem, but the problem comes from the color with the oversaturated snare. That is basically, one of the guys told us that, yeah, audio is fine, thanks. So the snare is basically just well, the guy told us that it's a clap. It's not a problem if it's only a clap. The problem is that it is only sounds like a simple sine, so it does not have a character of a snare, and the basses are heavily over distorted. Lots of high end that should be tamed and should be cleaned up, like. So the whole low end is very muddy. I think this comes only because of the over distorted and over crunched master. Even your kick drum is very heavy. I don't even see if you sidechain the kick and the snare. So be careful with that. It kills the really great drop. Kills the feel of the very great drop, because it is very painful to listen to. Try to find a better snare. Try to find a better snare with some more snare characteristic. I can even change it if I wanted to, like using one from my guys. They are not my guys, but I love their stuff. Teddy Killers. Yeah, this is a snare that I think would work. It's tiny and not heavily over distorted. Yeah, sorry, this is a snare. So it has some low end, it has some nice high end and stuff, just to make sure that it cuts through the mix well and does not have a feeling that you somehow messed up something, just put an overdrive on the snare and just made the whole snare into a noise. Yeah, see, it's not very pleasing to listen to. This is why I love to do, by the what I love to do, by the way, to put something on the waveform itself, you know, the master, the bounced wave file, and this way I can see if it is going well with the other sounds or not, because it will instantly kill everything instead, except the drum that I just put in. I think you can instantly hear how better it is with some low end and not heavily over distorted high end, but unfortunately this is too long. So, and the other bass is there. The whole drop is very, very heavily over distorted. Try to be careful. Okay, so how you would fix this is pull back everything, and especially on the master when you get to the drop, and go back with the drums and see if you processed the drums too heavily on themselves, or the mastering. The master effects give this very heavy crunch on the drop. So this is very important to check all the stuff that you did back, and try to drop, you know, an EQ8 on the basses. And what I love to do, let me show you. So this area here that you can see, I'm sure that you can see, the problematic ranges are most of the cases from 3 to 5K. And also what I love to do is cut everything above like 12K or something. And also with the drums, of course, I would replace the snare and just be careful with, you know, just using sidechain on the kick, and make sure that you don't overcrunch your kick with the basses and stuff like that. I think the studio field is fine, the intro is fine. I will still use some more atmosphere, more drones, especially in the very beginning. You know, some Foley effect to make it a little more cinematic. And I love this thing, by the way. I think this is really great. But I would love to hear a little more organic kind of mystic stuff, you know, just some ear candies that I would say, hey, what was that? What was that? But you're just using one pad here. Other than that, if you drop in a little more ear candy into the drop with some more interesting effect and fix the horrible overcrunch on your drop, I think this track can be really, really great. So let me see what you guys think in the chat. Love how Dan is giving so high and blah blah blah. With Gordon type beats, words of will. What? Okay, sure. If you want to ask something, by the way, or if you want to share anything about the feedback or whatever, just don't hesitate to drop it in the chat window. I will be able to check it every now and then. But right now, let's go back to the feedback tracks. And here is my magic keyword entry. Let's see who is the next one. He's Elisa. Elisa! Oh, hey Elisa, I just told you that my daughter's name is Elisa too. And your track is coming called Dead by Daylight. Awesome. Okay, I think I missed the point here because this is a really short thing, and the point here is with the video. So let me recheck it. Nice one. All right. So I think for the theme, that is a horror film, horror clip, or whatever it is, you were a little too shy with the instrumentals. So let me see, especially at the ending. So this is the, how do we say, the climax of the clip, where I should expect a lot more thrilling, a lot more effects, instruments with a lot more horror, you know, to make the clip a little more, what it is, right, like really some thrilling. But unfortunately, the instrumentals just went the same way that we heard previously. So I didn't see any more articulation from the instrumentals. You know, like when a real instrumental, I mean a real artist, for example, let's take a violin player, start playing with the violin a lot more aggressive, and the whole instruments start sounding a lot more aggressive too. I don't hear that at the ending, but I really expect it because that is where the climax of the clip is. So I would definitely want to hear a lot more aggressive playing with the sounds, a lot more aggressive hits with the drums, even some, you know, we have these cinematic or orchestral effect. If you have an effect library, cinematic effect library, there are some, I think there are no other names for that, but cinematic effects like risers, when the violin players and other instrument players starts pitching up their instruments and just, you know, go crazy with the playing, and other stuff, and some other risers would definitely benefit from this clip, and some, especially with some more frightening horror effects, especially at the ending. I think the beginning and the mid part of this clip sounds fine, but you need to be a lot more aggressive, a lot more, maybe a little louder. But I don't mean the volume of the sounds or the overall clip, but more like the, you know, the playing, the articulation of the instruments needs to be a lot more aggressive. Just check a lot of trailer music. I have a few friends, and I have a good friend who just had a trailer music released under the trailer of the Fast X, you know, the latest Fast and Furious movie. So he's very pro, and I love what he does. And it is very, very important to go crazy, especially at the end, because all these trailer musics and all these cinematic music, they are all about attention. I don't hear it here, unfortunately. But the other stuff that you use here, I mean, the musical parts are cool. I just don't hear attention. That is the huge miss. You missed a lot here, because that is very important. It is a short clip, so I'm not sure if I can talk a little more or too much about this, but I guess you get the idea. Right, next one, entry, not rentry, entry. Okay, it is from Nathaniel Coolio. His song is called Battle Approaches. Come on, click it. Okay. Okay, so I didn't want to waste time. Sorry from the from the guy who uploaded it. Okay, so I think you definitely need to keep practicing. This is a good starting point, but it definitely misses the epicness, as one of the dudes told us here, or wrote in the chat window. I think you are not using the proper instruments, you know, the proper contact libraries. You definitely need, unfortunately, I must say this, but expensive libraries if you want to create sounds and the music with expression. And this is what I miss here. The expression, you know, I don't hear how the instruments build up. I don't hear how they got more aggressive. I don't hear the drums being crazy when we get to the end of the clip. I don't want to pull this down too heavily because I can hear that you are almost a beginner sort of guy here. Keep practicing, start or try to listen to more battle music, but especially start getting a few professional libraries with lots of expressions and start analyzing musicality, you know, theory. I think in theory, I think you are cool, but how you voice the instruments, like the violin sessions, the trombone sessions, and others, and how you build up a song, especially a cinematic kind of song, is very important. This is a true. This is true art to me, honestly. I never made any cinematic tracks or a trailer track. I just made sounds, you know, for crazy sound design. But this is, to me, honestly, this is art. So, and it's not only art, but science too, musical science. Try to learn, try to practice a lot, and get some real good libraries. I think this is important. Unfortunately, previously, I made one guy here crazy by saying that he is going to be the next one. But because I used the wrong channel, you know, from feedback request, I skipped his song. So I don't want to make him mad. Let me go back to his song, Boris 2020, called Resurrection. And I know this is not coming from the proper track, I mean the proper channel on Discord, but I don't want to, you know, make him mad. So let me listen to that too. All right. So, by the way, I don't need to do too much here because most of you guys picked the issues here. So, yeah, first of all, in the drop, your snare is eaten by something. I don't know by what, but... So, it is very, very quiet. But if I replace it with anything, really, it is cool, but right now it is too loud. Right, yeah, so something like this would work better. So I'm not sure what's the issue here. Why? I think it's just the wrong snare, basically. So try to replace it with something with a lot more high end and a lot more punch. Right now this snare is just, or maybe it is just too quiet. I don't know. Let me see what happens if I just select it and try to add more volume to it. I don't care if it's clipping now because, you know, it doesn't matter. Yeah, the tail is a little too short too. I would like to sound, but what I hear is just like, so it is too short. Try to add a clap on top of it with a huge compressed reverb or something like that. So this is the first issue. The second issue is I think your sub, or I don't even see that you're using a sub, or it's not a proper sub. At one point of the track, I heard the bass playing on itself, I mean alone. Yeah, that's it, this is it. It almost sounds like if it is a Reese bass. So for dubstep, I think if you want to use a Reese bass, it's good, but not on itself, not alone. You definitely need to add some sub pressure, but I don't hear it. And especially this Reese has some mid-range, I mean the mid-low frequencies that really just make a huge mud on the low end. At the same time, you don't have a sub, so I think this is a huge miss that you did here. Yeah, so the low end is very, very muddy because of that, and especially your drums. I mean, I think the kick drum is fine. The snare, you definitely need to replace the snare with something that hits a lot more and cut through the mix a lot better. Let's see, the stereo information. Luckily, we have a nice utility tool in Ableton, and if I right click on the main knob, I can switch between mid-side, and if I turn it up, I can only hear the side. Yeah. Yeah, so the main bass is stereo. I mean, it is not a big problem, but I learned from big guys, and I think it was Sultan himself who told me that he always uses the basses in mono and try to add the layer or at least something in the background that, you know, just fills up the stereo space a lot more. But the basses should keep in mono, and especially because you are just using a mid bass as a stereo mid bass. And not using, I mean, you don't use a sub, and especially you're using a Reese for the sub. You know, the whole picture of, especially with the stereo width, it gets a little weird. So first of all, the number one rule, I mean, it is not a rule, but big guys do that, so I suggest you to follow this. Keep your bass mono, and try to add layer, or as I told you before, something effect in the background that really makes the whole stuff stereo wide, or just, you know, putting some effects like vocals or risers or impacts or whatever that makes it, you know, really shiny, and it makes your track a lot more interesting, because the listener will find popping out instruments, popping out sounds every now and then that is a lot more interesting than a constant stereo sound going through the whole track like your bass. So this is not a problem if you use a stereo bass, but I think it's a lot more interesting to play around with effects and keep this bass mono. So this is a huge issue here, but I think the track is cool. So there is one more thing I would point out here, is how you get to the drop. So the intro is cool. Oh yeah, this main scream, well, a screamy lead. It is empty on itself, so I don't hear anything that goes above it. So the harmonies, I only hear the lead, but I don't hear the harmony for that. Yeah, maybe there is something under it, but it is very quiet. So the lead itself can be great, but it is weak on itself. I mean, the main lead is good. It doesn't sound weak, but on itself it is weak. I'm sure you know what I mean. So try to add harmonies under it that complements with the lead. It is very important, because on itself right now it's just a little boring, honestly, and sounds really empty. Yeah, you only have the Reese and the drums and this lead. So these three elements are not enough on itself to make some tension. But when we get to the drop, where is it? Yeah, to me, honestly, this section does not work really well. So I would, so what I would do is just make it half long, like this. And it again starts building, but where to? I feel like that this is where the drop hits. I think it would be a lot better to make a little, you know, pull back the building up, especially when we get to the pre-drop. I think this is the pre-drop section. Just make it short. For example, listen to a little more Zomboid tracks. I think he's a genius in how he builds his tracks up. So he doesn't use these very long build-ups or pre-drop. Is it a pre-drop build-up? Is this how we call it? I don't know, but you know what I'm sure that you get what I mean. You lose the tension if you build up something with the build-up. If you were able to make some tension and you get to the drop, you don't want to drop the tension that you just built up. You want to build some even more tension when you get to the drop. But with this long, and especially, you know, I don't hear where the drop hits, because everything is so loud, everything is so intense since the very beginning of the drop, that I don't even know where it starts. You just lost it. I think it is not a good strategy. Try to be, I mean, less is a little more sometimes. Try to pull back the pre-drop and just make it pop, especially with the loudness. I think this is the other problem here, because yeah, so let's say I think the easiest solution is to pull back the volume. Also, where are the hi-hats? I don't hear the hi-hats. So when you introduce a drop, you really want to make sure that you put in everything to make the listener, you know, just blow his head off. And this does not happen here, because I feel that you are too shy, you pull back too much, and you start building up again in the drop, that you should have introduced everything at the same place to make it a huge impact and just blow up, you know. I think you missed the opportunity here. Other than these, I think this is a great track. Try to listen to more Zomboid tracks. He's awesome, especially how he builds up these cinematic intros, how he makes tension, and how he introduces those really hard-hitting drops. It's crazy good. Okay, so let's go back to the feedback tracks. And one more entry. Okay, it is from JT Respect.
I try to pray for you, even when there's nothing. You always make up something. You know I try to pray for you, even when we're touching. You always make a fuss. Okay, I'm patient. Don't test my patience. I'm trying to pace it. You kept me waiting. I try to pray for you. Okay, I'm patient. It cannot break us. You test my patience. I try to pray for you. Okay, I'm patient. It cannot break us. Don't test my patience. Okay, I'm patient. It cannot break us. You test my patience. I try to pray for you. Don't test my patience. Don't test my patience. Okay, I'm patient. It cannot break us. Don't test my patience.
There's nothing left to talk about. Always trying to hit me with some word of mouth. Hiding from the truth instead of finding out. Love you, but I hate you, so I'm timing now. Look who's running now. Now you violent shit. Ain't no you and I no more, so minuses. Clearing all the bullshit out my sinuses. We cannot pretend it's still with silent shit. And there's nothing left to talk about, babe. Need to get away, get up out this place. Don't really wanna talk about it. Hurry up, olay, get up out my face. So like, bye bye. We cannot connect, we not on Wi-Fi. Every time I miss a call, it's why? Need to get away, get up out my face. See you on my place, bye bye. We cannot connect, we not on Wi-Fi. Every time I miss a call, it's why? Need to get away, get up out my face. See you on my place, bye bye. Yeah, bye bye. Yeah, bye bye. Yeah, shut it. And baby, when I'm talking, baby, you should listen to the caution. Don't get too caught up in emotions. Baby, it's a real simple notion. I'm not open for you to talk to me. No, you mad as hell and you ain't fond of me. I can't really trust you no more, honestly. You should've came together with the honesty.
Okay, I'm patient. It cannot break us. Don't test my patience. Okay, I'm patient. It cannot break us. Don't test my patience. I try to pray for you. Don't test my patience. Don't test my patience. Okay, I'm patient. It cannot break us. Don't test my patience.
Peace of mind, don't got none that's on decline. Don't got one good state of mind. I'll just be running on it. Not hurt, it always seems to pop on me. I'm hearing it, I can't escape it.
There's nothing left to talk about. Always trying to hit me with some word of mouth. Hiding from the truth instead of finding out. Love you, but I hate you, so I'm timing now. Look who's whining now. Now you violent shit. Ain't no you and I no more, so minuses. Clearing all the bullshit out my sinuses. We cannot pretend it's still with silent shit. And there's nothing left to talk about, babe. Need to get away, get up out this place. Don't really wanna talk about it. Hurry up, olay, get up out my face. So I'm like, bye bye. We cannot connect, we not on Wi-Fi. Every time I miss a call, it's why? Need to get away, get up out my face. See you on my place, bye bye. We cannot connect, we not on Wi-Fi. Every time I miss a call, it's why? Need to get away, get up out my face. See you on my place, bye bye. Yeah, bye bye. Yeah, bye bye. Yeah, shut it. And baby, when I'm talking, baby, you should listen to the caution. Don't get too caught up in emotions. Baby, it's a real simple notion. I'm not open for you to talk to me. No, you mad as hell and you ain't fond of me. I can't really trust you no more, honestly. You should've came together with the honesty.
I try to pray for you, for you, for you. I try to pray for you, for you, for you.
Nice track. Too bad you were not singing here. To be honest, I think this is a fair production. I can't really tell too much. There is only one thing that I would change maybe here to go crazier with the 808, because as I can see, here is your kick drum, and the 808 is quite quiet compared to the kick drum. For most of the hip hop production, I know this is more like pop today, but still the 808 is an important lead to any hip hop production or any grime production. It almost sounds like a constant like sub-instrument, so it is not like a rhythmic 808 basic kind of whatever that we always hear in hip-hop production. I mean, probably it's just an artificial choice that you did here, I'm not sure. But this is the only thing I think I missed here some sort of like really hard 808 or something that goes crazy a little, because you know it's a good pop production. I love it, and I think this is great. Even the drums are fine. I think your mix down is cool. The instrumentals are minimal. I think this is, especially for grime production, it is not necessary to, you know, go over the top with them. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I don't want to look smart selling things that I don't even know what to say. So, yeah, great production. Hats off. I love it, honestly, really. So, next one. One of the dude asked here if there is a way to skip line and just go straight to his submission. Unfortunately, there is no way to do that. But the next one is Wise, called Remember Me.
Everything will be all right.
Come on, dude, this is great. I'm not even a big fan of hardstyle, or this was hard house, whatever it is. Sure it was hard house. Whew, this woke me up. Okay, there is one thing. I think this is a great production here. I especially love the tempo. It was like a like all the time we hear in hardstyle genres. I love the tempo, and it was still very powerful. I love the instruments that you use here, especially with these leads, how you made some crazy good tension to the drop. I love it. There is only one thing that caught my ears, is the build-up. I think you missed something here in the build-up. Yeah, this is the place where I would definitely wanted to hear some drop-down effect, like you know, some record stop effect or something that like somehow makes some how to express it. So it just separates this lead part, the intro part maybe, from the build-up part, but it's just, you know, the build-up comes straight, and even the drums are honestly to me a little too weak in the build-up. I think they are just quiet, so some volume adjustment would make it. Also, I would love to hear a stop here. So not going straight with drums, but something, I don't know, like I think I solved your problem instantly. I think this is great. Come on, I love this drop. I'm not sure why, because I'm not a big fan of this type of music, but this is nuts, man. Hats off, really. This brought some new colors to my life. I never listened to this type of music previously. Also, maybe this part with the vocal, I think the vocal is a little too quiet. But maybe this is intentional, I don't know. This is just probably want to be a filler in the background, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even hear if the singer is singing something actual lyrics. Yeah, I would love to hear it and start playing, start building up. Maybe I have something here. I love the Teddy Killer's little effects. This won't work well. I'm sure it won't. Maybe this would work, but I had to make some adjustments. So first of all, click on complex and just go into the, I don't like this view, so clip and not gain but transposition, and just make a drop down pitch drop effect on it. Now it is not cutting through the effects, but basically this is what I wanted to hear with some more mid-range. Yeah, it's still very quiet, but basically this is what I wanted to hear. I'm sure you know what I mean. But yeah, this is a crazy good production. Please come back every second week when we have feedback streams and post something cool, because this really made my evening. It is 10 p.m. here. Whew, great. Let me listen this drop again. but with my adjustment. Hats off, bro. Hats off. Okay, next one. I hope the next one will be this good as well. But if not, I won't tell you. Okay. So first of all, why this drop? I mean, this is cool. I really love the drop. It made some nice bouncy feel to it. I love that. But why is it so short? It was so cool. You don't need to be shy with this. Just you know, duplicate it and drop a 909 ride, for example, like boop. Just duplicate it and at the drive like on every quarter, and boom, you have a double long drop. So this is a cool drop. I'm not sure why it was too short. So the build up sounds like you ran out of ideas how to make a little more attention to this type of build up. Also, when the drop hits, I would love to hear some white noise, that something that, you know, even rise up the tension a little more. But my main problem here is, especially with the build up, because all you do here is using the same melody, the same instrumentals, but, you know, with some filtering, but some extra more drums. But I feel that it requires a little more to to add even more punch, not punch, but even more tension. Well, because your drop is it's perfect. I love it. You know, something that really slams in your face when we get to the drop. Right now it is just too shy. When the drop hits, it's cool, but come on, this drop requires a lot more. That really slams in your face. The same thing happens before the second drop. Yeah, I think with the second drop, or before the second drop, you felt it, but it is still, you know, loses a lot when you made a build up and you start building up again. But this time it doesn't hit well. But I think this would be great with these extra drums before the drop. Or something like that, you know, just try to be a little more careful with these. I think this is some sort of trend now, maybe, I'm not sure, but this is not the first time I hear something like this, and I hear this with dubstep and drum and bass track a lot when, you know, we have a build up and then it stops, and right before the drop, the pre-drop is another build up again. That would be cool. I mean, I get the idea and what people wanted to do with this, or what they want to reach with this, but most of the times they just lose tension that they build up with the build up section. So be careful with this. This section is great with a little more intense drums, would be absolutely perfect, but try to be a little more careful and don't lose the tension that you guys just build up, because this is a great drop. And maybe with some volume automation. Where is the drop? Yeah, here is the drop where it starts, and I think it would hit a lot more if we pull back the volume. But again, it still misses something. Maybe if I just reverse this part. Unfortunately, I don't have the transition rack here with me that I made a video about it last week on my channel, but maybe let's automate with a filter. So EQ8 auto filter, and maybe a simple HP filter would be fine. So let's see. Okay, this is not good right now. I mean, the idea is not working here, but you get my point, to just try to be a little, like, I would say a little more clever with the build-up, especially with the pre-drop. But other than this, I think this is a great song too. All right. Next one. How are you guys? Don't you want to go to the toilet? Because we are running 1 hour now. After this one, we'll have to go to the toilet, okay? But the next dude is Lodian. Total Darkness is the track name. Oh my god. Nice track, bro. I'm not sure if you are here in the chat. Whew, very nasty track. There are two things I figured out or I heard that should be improved. I think the first one is, again, the pre-drop section. No, it's not that. I think... yeah, these parts, I would like to hear a little more effect on them, especially when you get here. I think at least I need to assume that you listen to lots of Marauder track, and Marauder uses these kind of breaks. I think we can call these breaks. Very cleverly, because he always hides these sounds behind a huge bunch of reverb, and this is great because when you introduce them again in the drop with the drums and other stuff, it always makes a huge tension. But right now it is just you know, it's a little too raw, so definitely try it. And especially when you hide these sounds behind huge reverb, let me try to do that now to automate it for you. This always makes the sound a lot bigger. So like trying to add a little more decay and add a little more. I'm not sure if this will work because probably we'll have to use a lot more like compression on the reverb and stuff like that, and maybe some other layers, but yeah, that's it. This is what I meant. It's not 100% perfect. It doesn't sound 100% perfect accurately. I mean, the way I wanted to do that, or I wanted to hear, but you get the idea, I bet. And with some other Foley's on top of that to even introduce a little more mid-range, so don't just go entirely with the reverb, so listeners would hear that, okay, just here only a volume, a reverb automation happened, but you know, just layer cleverly. So this is the first thing, and what was the other one? I love these acoustic drums, by the way, so metal. Yeah, I think this is the section, the build-up part, where again you build up so cool tension. This section is very rich, I would say, very intense. But when you get to the drop, you lost it. Simply because the build-up section is a little too dry. So what I would love to hear a little more effects. I mean, some risers, or at least this part, you know, with the impact, boom, a drop-down effect or whatever. Or a little more effect on the vocals with what is that, ring modulated vocals. And the only thing that is building up here is the drums, or that is, I think, a little too poor. You definitely want to add a little more tension to it. Also, here, as I can see with these basses, you have some unwanted, very low frequency component here. So this section is very intense here. This is why you have this what is it, ramp or whatever. So you definitely wanted to filter it like this. But only this bass, because this is too much. So for mastering, it would cause you some. In mastering, it could cause some huge problems for you. Also, these what is it, a percussion bass? We can call it a percussion bass. Should be tamed a little, the way that I used here, but at around 1 or 2K. Yeah, at around 1K, sorry. It's a little too heavy on the mid-range. Maybe just a phaser would do it to make it a little more characteristic. Right now, it sounds like a distorted noise or something. But I mean, I get the style, and this sounds great, but it's a little too much. So it is a mixing issue or a mixing property to me. But it's a great track. So if you add a little more tension with the effects in the build-up, and especially with the pre-drop section, and some break and some more attention to the breaks, you know, with more process, I think this can be a really, really great track. So yeah, I loved it. What is it? That step or something? Maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, 5-minute breaks. 5 minutes break. Guess who's back, mother? Right. So I is back. Play my track tonight. Otherwise, I can't sleep because Dan has to hear my 8-bit rhythm. Oh my God! Please, please, bot, drop it. And 3. Please let it be the 8-bit, whatever. Okay, next one is from Silver. Tape recycling. Is it you, Pyro Beats? Pyro Beats, sorry. I guess not. Oops, sorry, I messed it up. I accidentally closed it. Nice ambient track, man. Or what's the name? Noise Mafia. So the only thing that came into my mind by this track is why don't you play a little more with the sub? So as you can see, or everyone else can see, that the sub is an important role here. The sub plays a very important role here. So as an ambient track, I think everything else you did here was great. I especially love that you changed the noise timbre in the second drop, or I'm not sure if you can call it drop, but I guess we can. So I would love to, or at least I would play a little more with the filtering, with noisy elements here, so not with the sub, but all the other elements to make it a little more colorful. But in the second drop, or at least in the second drop, I would definitely wanted to hear a little variation with the sub. You know, just very simple stuff, because this in this section the go very rhythmic. So I think these are 13ths. I would definitely want it to hear, or I would at least try to use the sub a little like stuttery too. Like maybe that would make a little. I mean, this track is cool on itself. It's an ambient track. It's not a dance track, but I think that would be great to play a little with the sub too. It's a sausage, as the other guys wrote in the chat too. Soundwave sausage, but it is what it is, because the main element here is a sub. But because the main element is a sub, maybe it would be a great idea to play a little more with that. So just, oops, sorry, vodka. Sorry, I was ill the last week straight. I had 39 Celsius temperature, and my stomach is still very bad. So this is why I drank vodka only. I'm not alcoholic or something, but it is just trying to come up. Anyway, yeah, it's a cool track. Try to play a little more with the sub, and I think for an ambient track, I would have loved to hear a little more atmospheric effect, like or something like that, you know. Because it is mainly a sub, the whole track is mainly a sub. It's a good idea, I think. Again, this is something new for me because I haven't heard this type of ambient before, but it's a great idea. If you work a little more with that, it would be even better. So yeah, it's a great track. Next one. Please be the 8-bit thing. Daniel Prozac, No More Chances. I hope it's you. Cool stuff, man. I remember I made a track like, it can be 5 years ago or something, and I used 4 sets of drums for the track. One for the intro, so the pre-intro, one for the intro itself, one for the build-up, and one for the drop. So I used these 4 sets of drums simply to complement the colors and well, the qualities of the different sections of the song, because I felt that if I use the drum for the same drum that I use for the intro in the drop, I feel that that way the drop would be too weak. Or if I use the snare in the intro that I use in the drop, the intro would be too intense, or it would be just too loud in terms of high frequencies. So this is why I love to, or at least I tried different sets of drums, and at the end it turned out that I had to use 4 different sets of drums. I felt the same thing here, because in the drop the snare sounds completely fine. It's cool. I still find that it's a little too loud in the higher sections, or in the higher frequencies, sorry. I would love to hear a little more in the mid-range. I'm talking only about the snare. Let me find one. Yeah, I think this is a great idea. Great example where I have a lot more happening in the mid-range. So let me try to replace your drum. But I'm only talking about the snare. Other instruments are fine. Yeah, I'm sure that you can hear that a little more with the mid-range. I mean the mid-heavy range. Mid-low range, sorry. Just make the sound, the snare itself, a lot easier to recognize, and you don't hear it only being as a simple noise or something, a white noise. So this is the first thing that just caught my attention, because in the drop I think it sounds cool, but in the intro, not here. To me it is too harsh, you know, with the higher frequencies. They're just a little too loud, especially compared to the very airy and very flowy intro with the vocals and stuff. To me they are too harsh, but I mean, this is not a major problem, but I would definitely use for example, a side stick instead. We have, you know, this is great because, you know, we can use very colorful and like very different drums, whatever we can. We don't need to stick to one drum set like a metal band. So with electronic music or electronic production, we can go crazy with the drums if we want. I had a friend like from 10 years before, and he made like huge hits in the music scene of, well, pop music, and he's still very talented. And he taught me that you know, maybe I have this the track for it here. I can show it to you. So he started the drum set. No, it's not here. Yeah, it is on my laptop. Never mind. So he introduced a drop with a softer set of drums. He started building up the drop itself, and then he introduced an extra layer on top of the drum. So he added a different transient in the middle of the drop, on the kick and on the snare too, making the the drums hitting a lot harder. You know, this is the same when you play it on the acoustic drum set, and, you know, just start hitting more, adding more power to it, and the whole drum set starts to sounding a lot more aggressive. And at the third or the last part of the drop, he added even more to the transients for the drum sets, only the kick and the snare, and making it even punching lot more, and that made the drum set and the whole song sounding very huge and building up, you know, adding even more tension as you got to the end of the song in the drop. It was awesome. So it opened my eyes about, you know, using different drum set and just, you know, going crazy and a lot more creative with the drum set when we do whatever with the songs. You know, it doesn't need to be in the drop, it can be in the intro too. It's just, you know, try to be a little more creative with that. This is what I heard here, that especially with liquid production, somehow we feel that we need to stick to these very harsh snares. And in the drop it sounds fine, but for the intro, why don't you just use a side sticking to the it would sound so cool, and it would make the whole track a lot more musical. The second thing that I heard here is the build up again. This is something that I think this is the 10th track or something that lacks on this field. You don't even have attention when you get to this. I guess this is a vocal track, so it doesn't need to be too crazy with the build up, but I definitely miss the tension. I definitely miss something for the build up section. Also, this lead that you introduce, I think from the very beginning, yeah, these drums suppress everything basically here, and the main lead that you use here gets a little boring to the end, so you don't really do too much to it, and you don't build the harmonies and the lead, basically the melodies on the melody with these sounds. So at the end section here, I would love to hear some building, some build up. It's not here. I had a really cool sample pack that I made for Loop Masters back in the days, where it was an EDM sample pack where I had to make the you know, just what I made, but what I was talking about, to build up the tension, adding more higher pitch or higher notes from the same melody that I used in the intro, or for the hook, as this is how we call it. You know, to add even more tension when we got to the drop. So this is what I miss here. You don't really build with the instruments, and when we get to the build up, you don't really build up the tension to the drop. The drop is really cool. It's a regular liquid drum and bass kind of thing, but I miss here mainly on the intro. But other than that, I think this is a great production. I love the vocals, I love the drop, love the groove. I think this sounds great. So don't take it wrong. These are minor things. These are not very, very big problems or something like that. But I would change these things that I just told you. Okay, Pyro Beats, you are really, really excited. Okay, next entry. Please let it be Pyro Beats. It's Vapor Palms.
Can I be your star tonight? You fill my soul with light the day we met. I don't wanna leave your side, no. Have me by your side when the sun sets. I hope you'll still want me. I hope you'll still need me a million years
this is a great production, man. There is only one thing I want to mention here, is that I miss some more effects from the vocals, because when we get to this section, I think here, no. To me, honestly, this sounds a little too dry. Okay, I have lots of effects here, so let me deactivate them. This will just fool us. I would love to hear some more reverb on the vocal, because this section is, I think it's a little empty, a little too dry. But other than that, the whole production is really, really great, especially with the color bases in the drop. I was honestly, personally not so sure about the gear up version here. Especially here, when the build-up, you have a different drum set, and that is cool. I just told the other guy that using several different drum sets for several sections of the song is cool, but here I'm not really sure, because you somehow need to generalize them, so make them a little similar, but still different, properly used for the proper section of the song. But here you have a very sharp click. But when you get to the drop, you just kill the transient, that very harsh click, and go with a very muffled. I mean, the drums in the drop sounds really great, but to me, honestly, this switch is a little too drastic. So here with the intro, you have that huge click, very sharp, very ear-bleeding kind of click or transient that you lost when you get to the drop. So to me, it's like, wait, what is happening? What happened here? Maybe that is simply because I'm not a big fan of the geared up version here. Also, this section would be very beneficial if you use some sort of effect, I guess. Something like that, especially along with some other effects like a delay and a reverb or a grain delay or whatever. I think I saw that you use FL Studio, but never mind. There are hundreds of different effects that you can use here to, you know, make it a little more movement to this section again. Yeah, the whole track is fine. I really love that. I love the vocals, I love the instruments that you use here in the intro.
Can I be your star tonight? You fill my soul with, have me by your side when the sun sets. I hope you'll still want me, I hope you'll still need me.
I love that you added some extra instruments here with the build up, in the build up, sorry.
I hope you'll still need me. Time we left let's leave for eternity.
And you introduce an extra bunch of vocals as an instrument. So I think this built up really well, but with some effects on the vocals and, you know, with doing something with the transient. When I use different sets of drums for different sections, there are two things I want to make sure that they are very similar. Sorry, one thing, and that is the transient. So I really need to match the transient of these different drum set. Other than that, they would just mess up the listener a little too much. So not mess up, but confuse the listeners too much. This is again not a major problem. I really love the whole track. All right, next one. Migu game. Okay, cool. Very nice track, very nice minimal, but still melodic content here, or not certainly melodic, but more like atmospheric and harmonic content. And there is a really nice sample pack I had here. I wish I would be able to find it. It's in house and it is a deep house kind of thing from Loop Masters that contain lots of different cool stuff. I wish I would find it. Because what I heard and what I felt, that this track could do a lot with some very cool atmospheric effects. So right now you have nice instruments, nice synths, but lack of exciting, at least this is how we call it, ear treats. I'm not sure if this is a can I waste more time with Guy J trend? I'm not sure this is the one I'm looking for. Ah, this is it. That's it. Cool. So it's basically 4 tracks from Guy J, and he made lots of so cool stuff. So we have track stems. Very cool FX. Also with the drums, you have lots of, I mean, the dude dropped here lots of very cool percussion. This still adds together. For some reason, this pack or these tracks reminded me your track. We have another one with so cool stuff here. Like this sort of little sine wave, or maybe this is not sine wave, since it was maybe an acoustic instrument or something, but it's basically just a sine wave what is happening here, but gives so much, not tension, but interest to the track. I love it. I'm sure that this would work here too. These drums are so cool too, because they have very tiny little details in the drums that makes the whole sound very rich. Come on, these percussions, how cool they sound. I'm a huge fan of this spec actually, and of this guy. Let me try to just simply filter everything. Even the BPMs are matching. This is so cool. These effects are, come on, man. So yeah, this is everything that I wanted to say here, but especially with these little tiny instruments. Just make the sound a lot richer and a lot more exciting. It's discovering more stuff here and there. They don't need to play all along the track, but you know, some replacements here and there. I think that would make the sound, the whole track still very minimal, but a whole different world, like exploring different little sounds coming in and out. This is what, to me, honestly, make the track very full and very rich. But other than that, this is a cool track. Yep, and the last one for today. I wish luck for Pyro Beats. Danny Distort. Is it you, Pyrobeats? I hope so. Ooh, a drum bass one.
The decision rests with you. The decision rests with you. Your choice is simple. Live in peace or perish in violence. My mission here concerns the existence of every last creature.
Wicked. I love the drop, but only the first half of the drop. Let me tell you why. I love how it is talking, but when you get to the second half,
Your choice is simple. Live in peace or perish in violence.
so this section,
Perish in violence.
I can hear that you change something, but the whole rhythm is still the same. So when you get with the first half of a drop like rum 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 rum, with the second drop I don't expect to hear rum 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 rum, but I would love to hear something like rum 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 rum. You know, just to break the rhythm of the bass a little more. I know it sounds a little stupid to sing a drop, but I think this is the easiest to explain. The sound design is really cool. There is one more thing that well, several others that I want to tell is when you have some breaks, this is the only place where I heard a nice drum break.
Live in peace or perish in violence.
So here, I heard that you wanted to put in something, but why not a more acoustic sounding kind of break like an amen? Like something like this. You know, a little more busy kind of groove. I'm not sure if this will work. Yeah, this sounds a little stupid here, but I think you get the idea. Oh, that's because the warping. Maybe if I change the location. That's it. yeah, so I wanted to hear something like a little busier kind of feel with the drums here and there, along with a little more variation for the bass that I just sang you, previously. But other than that, I think the drop is cool. But the other problem I heard here is basically the intro. It is very, very empty. We only have the drums basically. Not too much is happening here.
The decision rests with you.
So there is a lot more we could do here with the intro, like adding a drone, drum and bass tracks love those very deep and very evil and very dark drones. So why not put something here instead of just, constant drumming? I know it is important for the DJs to mix the song properly, but for the intro you have lots of possibilities that you missed. I think this is important to add more elements because the label will just, got bored in the very first or the very second, the third second, and rejected. So try to be a little more creative with the intro and with the build-up. Even the build-up is only just drums and one riser. The drop is nasty though, I love that. But with the intro and with the breakdown and with the build-up, those need, I think, a lot more work. I mean, not too much, but definitely needs more work to make it more exciting and at least something happening there, because nothing is happening except the drums.
Rest with you.
But I can hear that you know what you are doing, by the way, because this is a good production. It is not a beginner track. I can hear that, and I am pro in drum and bass. But the intro is something that sounds like a WAP. Maybe it is, I don't know, because the drop is cool. With some more tweaks, the second half of the drop will be cool too, but the intro and the build-up and the breakdown definitely needs more work. So, yep, these are the feedback. This was the feedback stream for today, guys, because it is 11. I really enjoy your tracks. I love the ambient tracks. I never heard stuff like that before. I really enjoyed what was that? The hard house track. It made my day, and even some dubstep tracks and stuff like that. It was really cool to be around you guys. I love that, and I think 2 weeks later we have the next feedback stream. Be around then, and hopefully that time the Pyro Beats dude with the 8-bit song will be reviewed too. So see you guys next time. Peace.